Both sides well pitched. They have some very talented arms, UCF. They're experienced, they're older. It's a tough matchup. Their pitch sequencing was really nice against our team. I thought they threw the ball well. Jamie clearly in command. You don't see stuff like that often at any level. I don't know, looking back, if I've seen the immaculate inning before. I don't think I've seen it in person, but that's 9 pitches and 3 punch-outs, and don't see it unless you have that kind of stuff, and he's got that kind of stuff, and he had it. And you can see the energy and the passion with which he pitches. I think a lot of that stems from the environment that's created here and our fans. He was in control of it. I thought the 3-0 count in the 6th, I think that was, he went 3-0 and then had the comebacker that he had and made that little play and then got the punch outs. I thought that was a good moment. The one at bat for the strikeout was a long grinding at bat, one of the left-handed hitters. So well done. Ox, savviness, obviously a good breaking ball. You could tell that slider was on it and they were not taking good swings. And then the check swing and the base hit, the infield hit with Ziska. And then Ox has that little step-off move that he plays around with all the time. If you watch practices, you'd see him out there trying all kinds of stuff, and it actually has worked for him twice, and that was the right time to do it. So, good game. Offensively, this guy was a big moment. There were some good at-bats. I know we tallied hits, but the damaging part of it, we were not as successful in managing our opportunities with at-bats to open this game open. So you go back to the quality of their arms, well-staffed, well-coached, and it was tough. And this was a huge moment. Jackson West had a long at-bat, which I think started the inning. Other than that scoring, it was just our ability to sporadically do enough to move the ball around and come out on the plus side on some of those hits, and some of them didn't leave the infield. And this guy walking in front of me had to deal with a game or two this year where there weren't a lot of balls that left the infield, and it can be messy. So kudos to our guys for hanging in there against those arms and putting some really tough stuff in play in a capacity that allowed us to score enough runs. And when you pitch it like he did and how Ox finished it up, you have a chance. And that's a really deep, experienced veteran team that was on the other side with UCF.
Take questions, please.
You talked in the past about stars being their own relievers. Did Jamie executing to get the ground ball there this time? Just how big is that?
Oh, he was in the middle of relieving himself, and it was tricky, right? I can't remember how they got loaded. The hit by pitch was probably the one that loaded it up. Big moment. Was that a fastball way? Yeah, off the plate a little bit. Yeah, like just well done. And when you have that kind of sink and life and velocity, you saw him beat bats. It's not the first time you've seen that, but he at times the movement and the stuff overpowers the bat, and that ball was capped, and we did a nice job of completing that. But that's a good point. That was the self-contained relief moment, and you were still okay at that point of the game, and needed to work through that. So well done.
Coach, you specifically saved Jamie for this game, significantly at the start here. How does it feel to kind of see that plan come together now here in the regional final?
Really good, because if it doesn't, I'm sitting up here probably telling a different story to you. So what Dorsey did last night really sets the tone for the alignment of the pitching to work. And it wasn't as much about who we were playing, it was about our personnel and how we thought we could best manage the longevity of the tournament. At the end of the day, the players have to execute, and they have to perform, and they have to respond to the role they're in. And everybody has. So it's great, and you hope when you make those kind of maneuvers that it does play out in your favor, because you wouldn't do it if you didn't think it was right. And clearly so far these guys have executed and put us in a nice position on the days and the way that they have thrown.
Jamie, Coach Wallace said that you might be one of the best pitchers in college baseball right now. To hear that comment from the opposing coach, I guess, what does that mean to you? I mean, it was obviously a great game, but what does that mean?
That means a lot. I liked Coach Wally, and it was cool playing against him. Yeah.
Coach, what was it like for you to play against Rich? You've been on your staff for years. What was it like seeing him in the other dugout and that home plate there?
I'm proud of Rich. These jobs are difficult and hard to get. They're hard to acquire these jobs, and I fought for him to get that job. And I spent a lot of time with the athletic director and the administration on his capabilities as a coach, recruiter, person, family guy, all of it. And so I like the fact that I see some of my assistants move into those roles, and that's home for him. I don't like the game. I don't really like it once we're into the game. It's just one of those things. Somebody's going to come out on the right and the wrong side of this, and there's no way around it. Somebody's going to come in first, and somebody's going to come in second. So you don't like that result, and you know so much about them and how they do things, and they know exactly what we're doing. Some of this stuff Rich and I built together and how we manage games and the recruiting. He had a big hand in this team. The recruiting. That went on all year last year, so he's not here, but the fruits of his labor, you see some of that. So I don't really enjoy these type of moments, and the longer you're in it, they come up a lot. So I've coached against my own son, and I'll do that again, and Rich, and those things are awkward. So I don't love it, but you have to deal with it because the longer you're in it, it's just going to happen more.
Can all of you guys, Cam, just energy, Cam first, then Jamie, and then Coach, if you could after, just the energy of this crowd, the energy that you play with, and after you hit that home run, Jamie, just you when you get your ending strikeouts, and you, Coach, just having to kind of get familiar with the way these guys play with that kind of energy and love, how much of that is contagious and helps you guys out?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the fans bring that out of us 100%, and we really step up when they show up, and it's really fun to, do all that kind of stuff and celebrate when they're out there watching you. So,
Jamie, I guess just the way you kind of celebrate after you get an inning strikeout, just where does that kind of come from, and how much does that fuel you hope the guys around you?
Yeah, no, it helps when the fans are getting me going too. So, I mean, it's always big when you get a punch out, and when it's the ending inning, you can kind of emote a little bit, and that's what I do, and I enjoy it. Yeah.
I love it. This is the best. The fans are in every pitch of it, every pitch. And they're on every aspect of every pitch, and it helps. In some respects, it makes my management of things better because I've got 7,000 or 8,000 people voicing an opinion that sometimes I don't need to voice. So that sure helps me.
Cam, you've had a ton of big hits, a lot of home runs, but how special was that one at that moment on the stage?
yeah, that was awesome. At first I thought it was a sac fly, and that kind of caught me by surprise, so that's why I kind of went crazy. I didn't even know what I did. I forgot, but I know I went crazy. So, yeah.
Helmet came off. You jumped right out. Yeah. I didn't know what they were going to tell me when I went out there, to be honest with you. So.
What did they tell you?
Well, there's unsportsmanlike warnings for celebrations and the look and feel that the umpires have. And you can't direct things to the opponent. So sometimes the excitement can be viewed as is that directed at the other dugout or somebody on the field, and that's what you see. So once that's happened, then the next time it's an ejection. So it's a serious deal, but the warning allows the guys. I think the fans and everything that was going on, sometimes you get a little bit of that, and I think a little bit of that's okay. I think it adds to the excitement of this, and it's not anything to be derogatory to the other team. We would address that if clearly I thought it was, but I think it's a nice example of what this crowd and the facility can do when you're in those moments.
Jamie, the immaculate inning, and I guess even I think 5 straight strikes, up 15, there's almost, I guess, 2 in a row. I guess, had you done that before? How cool your first time on this stage doing something like that?
In high school, I was 1 pitch away, and I got hosed on a call on a fastball. And then the next pitch, I threw the same exact pitch, and they called it a strike. So I was salty about that since 2 years ago. So I was pretty excited when I got that this year.
Coach, familiar faces across the lineup with Jarrett, Jarrett from your days at Notre Dame. Where's this getting 2 hits? Near getting that one? What was it like to kind of see them again, and how are they different players than the last time we saw them?
They're more mature. They're older. They're more mature. They're more physical. They're more aware, I think, of what they're doing within their own game. Those guys won an ACC regular season championship, 2 regionals, a super regional, and quite frankly should have won 2 super regionals, and we're in Omaha. So I'm probably not in this room with you unless those guys helped along the way. They're special kids. And I enjoy that aspect of it a little more than the Rich and the other coach being somebody, it's okay. We're competing. Those guys are out there doing their thing, but the chips fall where they may. So those are good kids. They're good players. They're experienced. They've seen it. And they've been through it. So, I'm proud of where they've landed and what Rich has been able to do with them there. They're good kids.
Coach, you mentioned it a little bit already, but 12 pitches in the first 5 innings, then the offense kind of dried up. Just what did you see from the lineup today?
I saw the lineup face some really good arms. Now, there were at-bats we needed back. We needed more out of some of the at-bats. Clearly, their management of both fastballs with life and velocity and the right mix of secondary pitches. They had the right combination of things going, and it's not easy. Like, it's not easy to get 12 hits in 5 innings against that crew, and then it's not easy to manage and deliver on the back end even when you're not finding even some of the hits and some of the things that seem to be happening for us early. It just, their arms got as tougher throughout the day, and the mixture of it when you're not seeing guys for 3-4 at bats, it does make it difficult. Their arms were
solid.
Yeah, good.
Cam, this was a game where all those calls were reviewed went the other way, but it seems like you guys didn't let that affect you. How far have you guys come this season in terms of dealing with things not going your way?
I mean, it's pretty easy to just look past it. I mean, when we get another chance, we know we're gonna, do our job and succeed. So we kind of just look past that if we don't get our way in the review calls.
Link, how do you approach the pitching decision for tomorrow?
Well, Mike and I were talking about it, probably heading towards Whitaker. I haven't really had enough time to sit down with him, but that was kind of the thought, was Whit, and he's had outings that have progressed in pitch count, and now he's had good rest. Probably the most rested we've been this year. So, I think he's ready to go, and Micah and I will break that down. If it's maybe that'll be tomorrow morning by the time we break it down. But that one makes sense, and the nice thing about what he's done and what Dorsey did yesterday is it shrank what we needed to do in the bullpen. So you're probably further along with depth in the pen than you would expect to be 2 games into this against the teams we've played.
Take one more question, please.
Cam, back-to-back nights against Dorsey last night, Jamie's performance tonight. What does that do for you guys at the plate? Just to know that you guys should pitch it, going lights out and just to get some runs in the ball.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we're really not out on the field for long, and it keeps our rhythm up there, and we're always just like on the run, on the move to get those bats going again, because he goes out there for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and we're already back on offense with the bats. So it's great. That's all we need right there.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Coach.
It's tight back here.